Okay, so today is day 11 of 44 days of transforming grief. If you haven't seen any of the videos, or Facebook Lives, just to fill you in, back in 2010, over the holiday season, I hosted 44 radio shows on transforming grief. There were 27 guests who came and talked about their own experiences, and our conversations were about the process of allowing yourself to feel the feelings. So on day 11, the radio show I'm posting today, I think the official title is Dancing with the Jonas Brothers and a Teenager. And in 2.5 years, I went to 78 Jonas Brothers concerts with my daughter, Hannah. So if you haven't heard that story, it's a long story, but I'll just share a couple of snippets. And then on the radio show, I read some blog posts that were about what was happening on the inside as well as what people were seeing on the outside. So one of the things to just share is that it had been 2 years since my husband died. My daughter was 12 when her dad died, and I had been at a loss of how to help her grieve the loss of her father. I had 2 older daughters also who were in their own process of grief, and here I had a daughter who was withdrawing from her community. She had developed an online community, and that was really that was 2005 when he died, so 2007, we didn't really even have a lot of Facebook connection at that time. We didn't have as much social media, but there were some things that were starting. There were ways of connecting, and she fell in love with the music from the Jonas Brothers. So she asked me one day, could we go to a concert in Philadelphia to hear this band? And they were doing a free concert. Disney was sponsoring them, and it was 2 hours from our house. So, here's this teenager so excited, like, oh, could we go to this concert? And it was the first time I had seen her light up since her father died. So I was like, of course, we'll go to this concert. It was on a Sunday. We drove up the night before, stayed in a hotel, got in line early so that she could be one of the first teenagers to run towards the stage and get a front row spot. And what began as one concert at a time. There were different opportunities to go to Six Flags and hear them. And then I thought we'd do this cool thing, like drive through the night and go to, be groupies and go to the third concert, which was a 6-hour drive to Rochester. And I thought that was the end of it. It was the end of the summer. We'd gone to 3 concerts. It was time to get back into school. And what I noticed was there was something that was helping her to heal by going to the concerts. There's a show that I do about sound healing and the power of music to heal our souls. There was something about their music at that time. The music of the Jonas Brothers had been something that was written with the 3 brothers, the dad, and an uncle in the basement of their home. They had dreams to be rock stars. They had dreams to play music on stage. And that really came through the music, this desire for a big dream. So on and off during that first year, we went to 8 concerts. And at the 8th concert, Hannah had asked me if we could go to some concerts during the summer. And I thought, well, maybe a couple. It's like a year later from our journey beginning. And something happened in that 8th concert where I was by that time singing the songs out loud. I knew the music. And it was a theater in Reading, Pennsylvania. And all of a sudden, I'm singing this song about loving someone. And I just started to sob, because what I realized was, as crazy as it may sound, 2 years of doing things to complete my husband's life on the planet. It's like he had died, but he left a garage filled with things, a basement. He had an ultralight airplane that he had been in the process of building. He had a business that had used cars, and he had passion for aquariums, and he had all of these different hobbies. I always say he died at the age of 60 with 60 years of projects unfinished. And I had been the person in charge of completing all of this stuff, like releasing the stuff. And so there was something that opened up with the concerts where I felt like my heart is opening here. I'm falling in love with myself again. I'm falling in love with life again. So I'm going to leave you with that piece around the concerts. And, there's more on the radio show. I'll be posting the link there. But what I want to say about transforming grief is that when you have a loss in your life, whether it is the loss of a loved one, it is the loss of a job, it is a transition that you're in where it's, for instance, retirement and not knowing what's next in your life, or moving, or, something where your life changes in such a way that you lose a sense of who you are. You have lost your identity. And when I talk about loss of identity, yes, when a loved one dies, we can feel that, like, who am I now that this person isn't here any longer? But there's even more than that. It's, who am I going to be now when all of a sudden that role is no longer there? So if you're moving from one state to another, who am I if I no longer live in Maryland? Who is this person who lives in another state? Who am I without that job that has now been outsourced to someone else, or ended? Like the job no longer exists even. Who am I when, for people who have children who leave the house, and it's like, who am I if I'm not parenting my children? There's all kinds of ways that we have loss where our identity is missing. And when we have that, there is a period of grieving, and there are stages that you go through, and there are cycles that you go through with that. And there is this place where you can fall in love with your new life. You can fall in love with yourself at a core place. That when I moved from Maryland to California, I said I let go of all of these identities. I let go of being a Girl Scout leader. I let go of being someone who helped to run a homeschool community. I was no longer the wife of Hurley. I was no longer the mother of my daughters who were now grown. Now, I am still their mother, but the role had changed significantly. And they will tell you, yes, I'm still their mother. But when your life changes like that, there is this period of feeling empty. And so the journey for us was the Jonas Brothers concerts, which turned out to be 78 concerts in 2.5 years. There's a story in that, for sure. But I would say, moment by moment, find the thing that speaks to you in your healing. Another example, is, and I'm going to be really transparent here with you. When Hillary Clinton was not elected president, and I, honor whoever you voted for, whatever you did, but this is my story, my journey. When Hillary Clinton was not elected president, there was a loss for me that was deeper than my candidate not winning. It was seeing hate that was around me. It was, it tuned into something in me where there was a loss, there was a deep loss. And that may be another Facebook Live where I talk more deeply about that as I have words for it. But one of the things that I did, and this is a simple thing, is that I have a mug that says, "I'm with her, Hillary Clinton." And I hold that mug and I drink out of it every day. And when you have some sort of a loss or you have dreams that die, you don't have to go to 78 Jonas Brothers concerts unless that's what you're called to. But there are simple ways that we can bring in comfort. There are simple ways that we can hold on to something that gives us comfort during a time of grieving. Now, in this holiday season, you may have like a holiday mug that was given to you by a loved one who has died. I have another mug. This one's in my storage unit though, that has my husband, my 2 daughters, and my son. And my husband and my son are deceased now. And so over the holiday season, I will be in California and I'm going to take that mug out and I will hold that mug and drink from it. And it is like, give yourself permission and compassion to wear the t-shirt, to hold the photos, to remember and feel the feelings associated with the loss. What came out of going to the Jonas Brothers concerts for me was I began to connect with life in a new way. We were playing the music in the car, we were singing and dancing. And at the concerts, there was just a kind of a pounding of the music and releasing the grief from my physical body with dancing and joy. Because honoring grief and feeling the feelings will lead you to more joy. And let the cycle go around where all of a sudden you're sad and you're holding your mug and feeling that kind of comfort. So I'm going to post the link to the radio show for the day if you're interested in hearing that radio show, Dancing with the Jonas Brothers. I hosted that show by myself and shared a bunch of blog posts and part of the journey. And as always, please post in the comments and let me know what are different ways that you have grieved. What are the ways that you honor grief? And maybe you've gone to some concerts too. I know Denise Harris has gone to quite a few Elton John concerts. So if you're listening, Denise, you can post that. All right, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow for day 12 of 44 days of transforming grief. Bye now. Hey, Jeannie, I see you. Bye.